G'day everyone and welcome back to NS2HD. This video is going to be one of my more traditional casting formats. This is a pre-recorded game which I am commentating in post-production. This is obviously not Tram, Rockdown or Summit, i.e. any of the three official Natural Selection 2 maps at the moment. This is a map called Triad22. It was made by a community member called Alex. Go back to NS2HD number 256 if you'd like to see Triad, me walking around Triad and just showing off what Alex has done in Triad to create this map. This is going to be an actual game played on Triad, so keep in mind this is a custom community-made map. This is not an official map, and this is going to be a hilarious piece of play between me and Scotty. Scotty is about to school me. Well, I just gave away what's about to happen, but this is hilarious. Scotty, if you're out there watching, well done, mate. And you've successfully completely embarrassed me. But anyway, so the map is a community map. It's not an official map, and it's a lot of fun to play. It's not necessarily balanced, and it's most definitely not complete. I'm sure Alex will be continuing to add more changes and more features to it as he goes along. But it is a lot of fun, and I'm bringing it to you for your viewing pleasure because I know that watching Summit all the time can get a little tiring. Not a lot of servers are playing Tram or Rockdown at the moment, so here is some Triad22 gameplay, and I have erred and sinned in not bringing you enough Alien gameplay. The last Alien gameplay I brought you was atrocious, so I am bringing you some real Alien Commander gameplay here. I'm going to be Commander on Triad22. This is the first time I've ever played a game on Triad, and it's also, I mean, obviously it's going to be the first game I ever command on it as well, whether from the Marine or Alien side, and I'm definitely a more comfortable Marine commander than I am an Alien commander. Now, what I'm going to do at the start is very, very quickly go for a whip and a crag, and the reason I did this was because I wasn't sure how easily defendable a second hive would be, and so I had some great feedback on one of my earlier Alien Commander videos that says you've got really two choices at the start of the game. You can either tech or you can fast hive, and I decided, well, I'm fairly sure I won't be able to fast hive on this map because I don't know it at all, so I'm going to double tech. I'm going to get both armor 1 and weapons 1 for my teammates. Having a little trouble clicking on the weapons 1 upgrade. The reason for that is there's a slight bug with the Commander UI buttons, and what you have to do is select off the structure, then select it again, then select the hotkey for the upgrade you want. So I'm getting dual upgrades now. At the same time, I'm trying to feel my way out with assists towards the nearest resource node, and that resource node is going to be over in this room. I'm not sure what it's called. It's still saying hive in the top left, so I'm not sure what that room is called. So I'm just going to call it the right expansion, so that's what I'm going to call it for the rest of this video. I wasn't able to extend assists down here. Alex will probably have to do a little bit of work with this, and, well, no, sorry, Alex won't, but the Unknown Worlds developers are currently working on improving how assists work and removing their placement difficulties, so when that happens you'll be able to expand left a lot easier. I couldn't really see a way to expand left, so I expanded right to the extractor here. I'm just trying to work out where to place a assist in here. There we go, placing it behind the resource node, and now I'm going to place the harvester on top of it. So now that the infestation is spread there, I'm able to build that harvester. So more back to the reasoning behind my tech choice. Going for armor 1 and weapons 1 initially at the start of the game very aggressively was simply because I went back to first principles, and I decided, look, if I can't be sure of grabbing a fast hive, well, more to the point, if I can't be sure that a fast hive is at least somewhat defensible, I will make my skulks complete badasses, and that is what is hopefully going on as these upgrades come out, although this Marine is being extremely annoying. Placing another pustule to try and prepare for the fact that both those pustules are probably going to die, and I want to keep that harvester alive, and I'm going to get out and attack this Marine. Now watch for the attack on this Marine to show you what the value of weapons are. This room is called Corridor Sur. Corridor Sur, I don't know what that is. Anyway, Parasite goes down to 2 bites there, so that's the value of getting the melee 1 upgrade very early on before a Marine team is likely to have an armor upgrade, which would allow them to go back to taking 3 bites from a skulk. And having the armor 1 upgrade just gives you maybe 4 or 5 extra rifle bullets before you go down. So these badass skulks, you can see them, they are all over the map, they are terrorizing harvesters, and it's a lot of fun as a skulk. If your commander isn't sure, and he's trying to place lots of structures and get lots of mid-game tech early on, then that can be quite annoying as a sculpt because you're not getting anything to help you play. And so I decided that if I am not confident of commanding this map, I'm going to go for double upgrades fast. And if you're on a public game server and you're not quite sure about your alien commanding yet and what's possible on what map and what fast hives work and what fast double extractors work, don't be afraid to go a double upgrade. Get an armor one and get a melee one out fast. All of your skulks are probably going to love you because they're going to have mad upgrades against Marines very early on in the game. And while it's definitely not a strategy that will win every game, and maybe not even 50%, it'll keep your players happy, and as you grow as a commander and get better, then you can start doing more complex things such as going for a very, very fast hive, or maybe going for one upgrade and then medium hive, or maybe double extractor one hive even with no upgrades. There is a lot of tech choices available to the alien team at this time, and the tech tree is not even halfway there. Which leads me to the Twitter post of Unknown Worlds. So I'll leave you watching this game, and you can watch what I do. There's a lot of trouble with building placement and all that, just because there's some trouble with systs at the moment. All the kind of things that you'd expect in the beta right now, and that will get ironed out eventually, and that don't ruin play. They just make it slightly annoying sometimes, but definitely not unplayable. Anyway, back to the Twitter post, because speaking of tech trees, Unknown Worlds tweeted this week that they were beginning to work on the basics of the Shade, and the Shade is a new tech structure. So we've already got the whip and the crag. They are tech structures. The crag is a tech structure in the sense that it takes up a hive when you build it, and the Shade is going to be the third one. While you can build whips, they don't take a hive slot. So that's why you can build a whip and a crag initially. But a Shade is going to be another tech structure that takes up a hive slot, and that means you will require 2 hives if you want to get crags and Shades. At least that is my understanding. It may change, like so many things in this beta. It may change for the better, or maybe it'll stay the same for the better. But that's my understanding at the moment. Let me know in the comments if you have a different understanding. And the Shade is going to be an upgrade structure focused on stealth. So the whip is focused on attack, the crag is focused on defense, the Shade is going to be focused on stealth. And that Twitter post said that the Shade was being worked on, and that is fantastically exciting news for the Natural Selection 2 beta, because we could be seeing that as early as, I believe, next week. Unknown Worlds in the tweet said that they were hoping to push that out this week, so maybe in the next 2 days even. I find that the Twitter posts are usually very optimistic, and I like that, because what that's doing is Unknown Worlds is setting aggressive deadlines for itself, and that means that they're more likely to get close to those deadlines. And so I love it that they're optimistic, but my intuition says that we'll see this early next week, because it's going to be a big programming task, I think, to get the Shade in there. It's going to take a lot of programming time from Unknown Worlds to get that working, and there will be the inevitable bugs when it is put in. That'll take playtesting time, so I reckon early next week we may see it, and we will definitely see it within 2 weeks. I reckon we will see some sort of implementation of the Shade and or the beacon, which leads me to the bacon, and that is the other thing we have seen in that Twitter post, is that bacon is coming back. The beacon, affectionately called bacon by veteran Natural Selection 1 players, the beacon allows Marine teams to spawn back to their base in the event of an emergency, back to the observatory in the event of in the event of an emergency. So in situations such as a huge skulk rush on your main base, you could use the beacon to recover that base and stop it going down to the rush. Having a little bit of trouble placing this hive, but it will go up. There is my second hive going up quite late. That's the 8-minute mark. Oh, no, sorry, the 7.5-minute mark. So well into the mid-game, dropping that second hive because I did those dual upgrades and because I was unable to secure a second extractor very early on. I'm going to go gorge now to spend some of my personal resources. I have 38 personal resources. I'm going to spend that on defenses for the main hive to prevent a Marine shotgun rush in here. Will at least slow down a shotgun rush. That's what static defenses do in Natural Selection 2. They slow down assaults. They don't prevent them like any good RTS game. That's what you want static defenses to do. I'd love now to speculate on the Shade, so please allow me to do that for a moment. The Shade is roughly analogous to the sensory chamber of Natural Selection 1, as the crag is roughly analogous to the defense chamber of Natural Selection 1. And the sensory chamber was able to passively cloak any structure or unit standing still within its radius, and it was able to give aliens the ability to research, or evolve, sorry is a better word, evolve personal upgrades to allow them personal stealth, so personal cloaking. as well as some other stealth upgrades that they could pick from. And so I think with the shade, we may see the return of static stealth in natural selection too. So that would allow me to, for example, hide a shade somewhere in this hive and hide all the structures in there, except for the shade itself. So I'm very excited about that, and I think it's going to be an amazing game changer for the gameplay, and it comes back to my point about the tech tree for aliens not being even half finished. It is not even half finished, and having the shade move in is going to open up the tech tree in whole new ways. The great thing about aliens in natural selection, and this is despite the changes in natural selection 2 giving them a commander and reducing the strategic role of the Gorge into a more tactical role, it's still a race. It's still a gaming race that revolves around three tech choices in addition to the new whip: the Crag, the Shift, and the Shade. The Shift that we haven't seen yet and that we probably won't see for a couple more months maybe. The Shift is going to be a movement-based structure, roughly analogous to the movement chamber. But the great thing is that that allows immediately at the very start of the game, if you want to drop one of those 3 tech paths, that immediately opens up totally different strategic paths for the alien team, and concurrently totally different responses from the Marine team. Anyway, I hope that's got you as excited about the shade as I am for what it's going to do to the tech tree. But for now, that is it for this video. I will probably bring you a part 2, but not for another 48 hours. So please don't hold out for it. It may be within 24, but I anticipate within 48. So thanks a lot for watching this part 1 video, guys. Leave me comments as usual to give me feedback. I read them all. I really enjoyed bringing it to you, and I can't wait to bring you more very, very soon. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all soon for more NS2HD videos.